Calgary Flames have an important decision to make regarding RFA Connor Zary and his contract situation. After seeing what General Manager Craig Conroy has dished out to other RFAs, and after analyzing some comparable contracts around the league, the choice seems to be a little bit clearer. We're going to get into all that and more in this video, but first I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family, which has now hit 4,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for 4K. It really, really means a lot. Love that we have such an amazing community here on the channel. Now let's get into what to do with Zary. What are we going to do with this Zary contract situation? That's kind of the important decision, massive decision that the Flames have to make. What kind of contract are they going to dish out to Zary? It's probably the biggest thing left on the checklist for the summer. I know a lot of people would like to see Wolf signed, but that's not exactly imminent the way a Zary contract is for next year. And we have a wonderful article to take a look at here. All credit due to Jeremy Shoup here. He originally posted it on the Hockey Writers. We're going to take a look at essentially the whole article, so all credit due to him for this one, but it's very good. So, projecting Connor Zary's contract extension with the Calgary Flames. Pretty standard headline right there. What is it going to look like? What is the projection, shall we say, for this? The Calgary Flames have been relatively quiet to start the offseason. However, their biggest priority still needs attention. Connor Zary, the Flames' first-round pick of the 2020 NHL entry draft, remains without a contract and is currently an RFA. Zary's coming off an interesting season with the Flames where he struggled to find a consistent role and dealt with multiple knee injuries throughout the season. Very unfortunate for him. Zary has yet to scratch the surface of his full potential at the NHL level. He has shown flashes of greatness. We all remember that goal in the very first game of last year against Vancouver, the OT winner, where he just deked and potted it in the net beautifully against the Canucks. But he has also struggled to stand out at times. With the 23-year-old Canadian winger needing a new contract before the 2025-26 season, let's examine some comparable contracts to project what Zary's extension will look like. And before we get into those comparables, one thing that really needs to be taken into consideration is the type of contracts that Craig Conroy has given out thus far this offseason to some RFAs. So the most comparable would be Morgan Frost. Morgan Frost got 2 years. It was quite a medium salary amount, I guess we can say. So that's what you would expect from Zary as well, just because they're kind of similar. They haven't quite scratched the surface. They look inconsistent at times. I mean, Zary, of course, has had those injuries, but you can look at Frost. Will Zary get the kind of contract that a guy like Coronato got? No, of course not. Will he get the kind of contract that a Kevin Ball got? No, of course not. Those aren't even comparable because it's defenseman and a forward and completely different types of players, obviously. But Coronato has shown his real flashes and more consistent offensive ability, whereas Zary hasn't quite been able to do that, just like Frost. So already you can assume it'll be a contract like Frost, but let's continue. Zary's resume. Let's take a look at what he's done so far. So after being drafted in the first round in 2020, Zary did not make his NHL debut until 2023-24. In his debut back in November 2023, he wasted no time showing why he was such a highly regarded prospect, opening the scoring for the Flames against the Stars and recording 6 shots total in the contest. It was a great debut. Throughout the rest of his rookie season, Zary got into 63 games with the Flames, scoring 14 goals and adding 20 assists for 34 points. Not too bad at all. It was an impressive campaign that Zary looked like he was going to build on after having 5 straight points in 5 straight games to open the season for the Flames just last season. Remember that? We were thinking, oh my gosh, our offense looks incredible. Zary looks incredible. And then we know what happened. However, his hot start did not materialize with him missing the majority of January and February with injuries. And after returning, he bounced around the lineup. And that's just the fact of the matter. It was honestly very impressive that he was even able to come back into the lineup after what looked like terrible season-ending injuries. Some people thought career-ending injuries, and has been able to obviously battle back. Zary finished last season with 14 goals and 13 assists for 27 points in 54 games, a 0.5 point per game pace, which was slightly less than the 0.54 he averaged in his rookie season. While his production did not improve in his sophomore season, he did look more impactful on the ice with the quality of scoring chances he was creating. That also sounds like Morgan Frost, doesn't it? From his rookie season to his sophomore season, Zary was producing 0.28 more expected goals, 2.19 more scoring chances, and 1.18 more high danger chances per 60 minutes via natural stat tricks. So he has the potential. It's just the production isn't quite there, which can be said about a lot of the Flames from last season. So let's take a look at some comparable contracts to Zary. This is where it really gets juicy and helps Craig Conroy make that decision on what kind of contract to officially dish out to Zary. So according to the Athletics player value model based on net ratings off advanced analytics, the data suggests Zary played at $3.7 million value last season. Quite medium, I guess we can say, and quite fair. But let's get into it more. In a recent piece projecting the Flames' 2025-26 roster, Sportsnet's Eric Francis said, expect a 2-year bridge deal so the talented youngster can up his value following an injury-riddled season. And again, was kind of compared to the Morgan Frost thing, which was also a 2-year deal. With these two things in mind, the author of this article found 3 players of similar age and production who signed extensions this offseason to get an idea of what Zary's contract will look like. Those comparables are these 3 players. So Jack Quinn got a 2-year at 3.375 AAV. Seems pretty standard. There's also Tyson Foerster, 2 years at 3.75, so quite a bit higher. And again, quite comparable as well. And then we got Will at the end, 2 years, 7.8, so 3.9 AAV. So somewhere in that, 3.4 to 3.9 range seems quite comparable. And the fact that the actual advanced analytics showed 3.7, I think really fits with exactly what we're seeing here. So Quinn and Foerster are the 2 players I want to focus on here. Both were taken in the same round of the same draft as Zary, with Quinn going 8th overall to the Sabres and Foerster being selected 1 pick before Zary by the Flyers. The similarities between the 3 players don't stop there. Throughout their young careers, all 3 of those players have produced between a 41 to 45 point per 82 game pace. So very, very comparable. It's crazy, all those similarities. So let's get into the projection now that we have the comparables. Even though both Foerster and Quinn signed within 500K of one another, the Athletics player cards value these players at quite different levels. Last season, Foerster played at a $5.9 million value and Quinn played at just a $2.3 million value. That's what happens when you're on the Sabres. While this is a wide gap in valuation, it does still narrow down the window of what Zary can sign for. With Quinn's deal at $3.375 mil, Zary's camp now has precedent to say that Zary is worth more than Quinn, given his $3.7 million valuation compared to Quinn at just $2.3. At the same time, the Flames have also precedent to not pay Zary any more than Foerster's $3.75 million, with him performing at a $5.9 million valuation last season. With Zary playing at a level in between Quinn and Foerster, and all 3 coming out of the same draft class, I think his contract is going to look quite similar to both. The prediction, Zary signs a 2-year, $7 million deal that carries an AAV of 3.5 mil. I would go slightly higher. I would say my guess is honestly going to be 3.65. I'll just make that my official guess now. But that looks like it. The numbers are there. The comparables are there. The contract's there. His potential to be better is all there. So I think both Zary's camp and the Flames can really get a deal done and a number that's right. And I think everyone who thinks it'll be a bridge deal is probably correct. It just makes sense for both sides, really. The Flames might not want to commit long-term to a player who hasn't quite reached the potential. And Zary also wants to show that he has, the potential to be the star that a lot of people think he can be. So 2-year, 3.5 to 3.7 looks like exactly what Zary will be getting. But you never know. They could blow us away and go a lot crazier than that. But of course, we'll just have to wait and see. Now let's get into the comment of the day to wrap up this video, as we love to do here on the channel. It comes from yesterday's video, of course, which talked a lot about Rasmus Andersson and especially the Dallas Stars. And the most liked comment came from Marvin here. Marvin said, "I'd want Robertson for sure." Yes, I think most Flames fans would love to have Robertson on the team. If there's some sort of deal that could happen involving Andersson and Robertson, that would be absolutely nuts. This is Jason Robertson, of course, from the Stars. But, yeah, I think it's definitely a want. Is it a need? Not necessarily, but who would say no to picking up a Jason Robertson, an absolute stud? Again, hopefully Conroy can get something going there. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to what you saw here today and have a wonderful rest of your day.